All right, I can't really tell if we're live, but I'm going to go ahead and rock this out. Welcome to this live stream. And today in this live stream, we're going to be talking about how to design your ideal life insurance business. And what we're going to talk about today is a step-by-step process on how to attract clients to you. And I'm going to go through this formula step by step. And this has helped me take my business to new levels. And so if you stick to the end of this video, you're going to get two things. One, you're going to get a step-by-step process in order to design your ideal life insurance business, as well as I have an awesome announcement at the end of this video if you stick around. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in and really quickly, just so I can make sure that this is live. It looks like we are live, okay? And so if anybody's watching this, if you're a life insurance agent, go ahead and click below in the comments and type in and let me know if you're a mortgage protection specialist or final expense, or if you specialize in IULs, or if you're a financial advisor, and where you're looking and following in from. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and share my screen real quick, and we'll go ahead and jump right into this. So let's see. And so what I want to discuss today is how to design your ideal life insurance business, right? How do we design that dream business? And so for a lot of us, if you're an entrepreneur minded person like myself, you know, you either working a 9 to 5 or been working somewhere where you knew you just weren't getting a lot out of life and you wanted more, right? You weren't satisfied with where you were. I mean, you were thankful for it, but it just, wasn't, you weren't really finding your passion and your purpose. And that's what I want to talk about today, because so many times we get into the life insurance business and we take on the processes, the wants and the needs of other people, right? And so I heard someone say this, and it really opened up my mind to these opportunities, right? So a lot of times in the life insurance business, we're doing things that we were doing 100 years ago, right? And so if you go on Google, a financial advisor, there's three things that you're going to find. The average person is the age of between 55 to 75. It's a male, and it's a Caucasian person, right? And so why is that even important? Why does that even matter? Well, it matters because the methods that you're being taught are methodologies that worked for those individuals back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? And so those people are now the owners of insurance companies, head of agencies, right? And so they're teaching you because this is what they believe, because this is what worked for them, right? Because they can only teach you what they know. And at this point, they're just sticking with the tried and true. So there's no nothing wrong with that. But we're going into 2021, and we just want to leverage technology, and we really just want to think, how can we leverage systems and processes to get the same results and be more efficient with our time, right? And so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to 80-20 the process. So where you're spending, Mondays and Thursdays or whatever it is, 80% of your time, right? 12 hours a day, dialing numbers to set a few appointments, where we can leverage and flip that model to where you're not spending 20% of your time doing those appointments. You can spend 80% of your time in those appointments, right? And only 20% of your time kind of following up with people who have to reschedule and things like that. And so, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to design your dream life insurance business, right? Because you can, right? You can design anything that you want. And it starts right here in your mind. And sometimes you need to see it first in order to believe that it's possible for you. And that's why this video is going to be so powerful, right? Because we have agents in our program that have done this, right? They have run that 4-minute mile. And the gentleman who I think is David Bannister, he was the first individual to run that 4-minute mile. Now, before he did that, everybody thought it was, not humanly possible. But as soon as he broke that barrier, then everybody behind them started to do it, and they just needed to see what's possible. And so my goal and my passion of why I do this is to just basically show you, not just based off of what I say, but based off of results of agents just like you, that we have that David Bannister, right? That has broken that 4-minute mile, and now the baton is getting handed to you, and it's your turn. And the secret formula to designing your dream life insurance business is the who, where, bait, and where, right? And I know this is a simple diagram and it's just a little stick figures in a drawing, but it's very powerful. And I like to keep things very simple, just the same way we do in our business. And so you can see these little fish, and these little fish are who your ideal customers are. And so a lot of times as agents, we're told we just need to go see and speak to everybody. Well, that's great. But if you're talking to everybody, how can you clearly define and figure out, who your ideal client is and the person that's the right fit for your services, right? Because everybody isn't the right fit, right? It's not a one size fits all process. You don't want to be spending your time trying to convince people why they need something. You don't want to be spending your time driving an hour and a half to an appointment to be stood up, and the only reason why they agreed to it is just to get you off the phone, right? You don't want to be spending time booking your calendar and following up with people that you got referred to, and the only reason why they took the appointment was because they were good friends with the other person, and they have you go through the whole process just to say, oh, I need to think about it. What we want to do here is figure out who our ideal client is, right? And then once we do that, then we want to figure out where they're hanging out at. And the beauty of doing things online is people cluster together. There's forums, groups, YouTube, Facebook, right? We can start to attract these people. And a real simple way to do that, right, is you can take these processes and systems into your own hands. For example, organically, when I first started my business, before I had any capital, you know what I did? I just added a ton of folks who I thought were ideal clients into my network. So I shaped my world, right? I didn't just have, people I hadn't talked to from 20 years on there and my profile and just posting all kind of things. I was strategic about this process. And this is where you can start to figure out where everybody hangs, because Facebook will start to send people and your suggested people you may know, right? And then from there, you can take a look at their interests and you can figure out where they're hanging out, what kind of groups they're hanging out in, the names of their profiles, their friends, right? Everything is connected on the World Wide Web. And once you can figure out who your ideal client is and where they are, then the next thing you need to do is figure out, what their problems are. And once you figure out what their problems are, you need to figure out what the solution is and be able to solve it with ease. And then you want to give it to them, right? And the bait is really just understanding your ideal client and being able to write their problems down like a day in their diary, right? It needs to be like off the top of your head, right? And when you're able to do that, when you know the problem so well, you can really easily figure out a solution, right? And so this is what we call being a specialist and not a generalist, right? For example, I always use this analogy. The generalist doctor, right? He sees patients all the time: flu, bumps, coronavirus, mumps, measles, aching back, all of these things. And he spends his time in his dingy office seeing patients after patient after patient all day long, and until he gets burnt out. But what about the neurosurgeon, the specialist, right? The expert. What does he do? He gets a page after the client has been referred to him. Then they book an appointment. They fill out a bunch of information, get an MRI and some tests, go through a process. They get prepped. And then once they're sedated and down and everything's been done, they come in, wash their hands, put on their scrubs. They solve the problem, hand the utensils to the nurse or their assistant. Their job's done and they're gone and they're back to the golf course, right? So what are some things that the specialists have that the generalist doctor doesn't? Well, they have a ton of free time. They love what they do. They're not burnt out. and they make at least 5 to 10 times more. And that's what we want to focus on here. And the moment that you can figure out what your ideal clients' biggest problems are and be able to solve them with ease, then that's when you have cornered the market, right? So then you want to put this bait in front of them, right? And then the next thing is where do you want to take them, right? What are the processes that you want to take them through in order for them to be a client? Because if you're giving out something for free, then you're going to be attracting freebie seekers, right? The people that, oh, I just thought this was something for Social Security. Oh, I thought this was a free dinner. Oh, I thought this was a raffle for a Walmart gift card, right? People that have zero intentions on exchanging your services for a fee. And so what you want to do is you want to have a process to take them through that are steps that are a bridge from where they are right now to where they want to be, and you position yourself in the middle. And so I hope this is making sense. If this is making sense to you guys and you're kind of enjoying this, go ahead and click the heart button. As well as, if you're a life insurance agent, share this with a few of your friends, right? Tag somebody in this video because this is helpful. And don't forget to stick around to the end of this video for the phenomenal announcement that I have. And so how do we find our ideal clients, right? Well, what you want to do is take a little bit of time and really kind of diagnose that. And so for here, just to kind of give you an idea of what a perfect fit might be, right? We have Michael here, who is a successful personal trainer, and he makes about 6 figures a year. And what's his problems, right? And that's misspelled, but I apologize. Keep going. He doesn't have income protection, right? And he also doesn't have a retirement account. And so when you know these things going in, when you're a specialist, you're able to solve these problems over and over again, right? And you start to speak to this market enough, you get referred in, and people start to come to you because they subconsciously believe that you have the solution to their problems, right? Or another example, Kimberly. She is a solopreneur and she is a working mom from home. And her husband has been furloughed due to COVID. And so her income isn't protected. She has no benefits, and her household income is $60,000, right? And so what do we know about that? We know that if her income is the only thing that she's dependent on, then she's the most at risk, and not just for her, right? If anything comes close to happening to her, her whole family is going to be in a bind, because it's not just her income that people are dependent on. It's 3 people dependent on her income. That means the mortgage is still going to have to get paid, or the rent, the car payments, the insurance, right? The lights still need to be kept on. And if they don't have anything in place to protect her income, and she's going to be leaning off of credit cards, burning out the savings, and then going to have to live with a family member. And that's not what you want. So there's a lot of people out here that need our help, right? And so that's why I want to go back to the secret formula, right? Who is your ideal client? And if you can't clearly articulate who it is that you serve in one sentence, right, then we need to start working on that really quickly and get crystal clear on that. Then we want to figure out where they are online, right, which is really easy to do when you have a system in place and a process with a mentor that helps you, and you're able to do that. Then you want to have bait, and then where do you want to take them, right? And so here's the most important thing that you need to understand and that I want you to take away from this video. The amateurs focus on outbound prospecting, right? Calling leads. They're chasing people, right? Or professionals create systems for inbound prospecting, and they get appointments, right? So instead of going out and chasing people, they have clients coming to them. And so I know that sounds like some foreign concept or something that's unbelievable, but I just want to show you what's possible here, and that's what I'm about to take you through. So make sure you guys are paying close attention to this, because this is exactly how to attract your ideal clients, to have them chasing you instead of the other way around. And so this is our process, right? From start to finish. It starts with a Facebook ad, to a landing page, to an informational video, to a survey as an application, to booking an appointment, to you hopping on a call and closing the business. Just that simple, right? This is that 4-minute mile. And so let's start with the first one. It's a Facebook ad. So right now, Facebook is the number one place to get clients for your financial consulting business, right? There's never been an easier time to target the perfect client online for so little, right? And so the step one is the targeting. Where? Remember that diagram? Where are your ideal clients? So here's how we're able to do that, right? And I'm going to walk you through this step by step. So make sure you guys are paying close attention. Right? So we go into the back office of Facebook, and this is phenomenal, right? Because Facebook has all of our data. So when you get to this level, it's really easy to find your ideal clients online. So for me, when I was back in the business, physicians was my niche, right? So all I wanted to do was go online and figure out where my ideal clients was. Well, instead of me having to figure that out, I just leveraged the most powerful artificial intelligence known to man, right? Which is Facebook. And I just put in doctors of medicine. And you can see over here, 33,000 people on Facebook, active users, right? With that title, they're right there. Simple and plain. And I can reach up to 12,000 doctors every single day. Imagine a world where agents aren't having to spend time spending hours on end, following up, cold calling, right, doing all of these things. How long would it take you to reach 12,000 physicians? Probably take you a lifetime. But with this process, you can reach them in a day. And so that's the Facebook ad. And then the next step is creating compelling ads. So let's take a look at an example, right? So here is a very simple ad, right? Are you a doctor looking for help planning for retirement, excuse me. Very simple ad, right? That calls out that we know a couple things about physicians, right? We know they make a lot of money. We know they spend a lot of money. We know that they get hammered in taxes, right? And we know that they work a ton of hours, so sometimes they don't get to enjoy the fruits of their labor. And so what we're able to do is position ourselves as a solution to their problem, because we know for sure that everybody hates paying a ton of taxes, and physicians usually are some of the folks that pay the most, right? And so from there, we can take a look at our process, right? Because I just don't want to show you the process. I want to give you the tools and the numbers that match. So usually, what we're doing on Facebook is we're paying about $1 per click, right? So for every person that we show our ad to and they click on it, we pay Facebook $1, right? And so next is the landing page. And the landing page is different than a website. It's a web page that asks people for their address in exchange for some information, right? For some content. And we can build these in minutes, and it's literally no tech skills. So for example, the 76 new agents in our program, they get the templates and the websites with the click of a button imported right into their accounts, right? And this landing page, it converts visitors, which we call opt-ins, and we can convert them up to a rate of 33%, right? So let's take a look at a landing page, right? Not just saying what a landing page is. I'm going to show you exactly what a high converting landing page looks like, right? So an exclusive training for doctors, right? How to save money tax-free without the risk of the market, right? And so as an agent, right, if you're selling life insurance, what's the first thing you think of when I say tax-free without the risk of a market, right? What does that sound like? Go ahead and type in the chat if you guys know what I'm cooking at when I'm positioning myself there. Awesome. And so now we have the same congruent picture, and then we just want to get some of their information. So if they do go through and take a look at the informational video and they don't book, we have some information that we can either manually follow up with them, or we can put some systems in place to be able to do that. And so the next process is 33% of the people who usually land on that landing page convert into leads, which turns out to be $3 per lead, right? Simple math. And so the next thing is the value video. And this value video is something that's about 3 to 5 minutes. It's just enough to stir up the pain of our ideal clients, talk about the problems, and then present a solution in a very high level way, right, to our prospect to inform them that, because some people don't know that they have a problem, or they know they have a problem and they're just, it's just too difficult for them to try to figure out the solution by themselves. And we process this in the form of a free training, right? And we record it using our iPhone in less than 10 minutes. And you can start by talking, about the problem and then talk about the solution. And then at the end, you can ask your prospect to reach out to you if they'd like to learn more. And usually about 10% of the people who opt in for the video, they want to talk to you and offer to schedule some time with you, right? And so even if you're like, I don't know about doing a video, I'm kind of nervous, you can do a video just like this where you don't even have to put your face on it. But I want to show you how simple it is to make, a video like this. Hey, everybody, this is Arturo Johnson here. And just got through speaking with a client and signed them up for life insurance with Arturo Johnson Agency, Arturo Johnson Financial. And what I found with this physician is they were working a ton of hours, and the challenge with making as much money as this doctor was making, it limited them to how much money they could put into a tax shelter and into their retirement vehicles. So what they were struggling with was having all of this cash in the bank, not gaining any interest. And so what my client wanted to do was they wanted to be able to, invest this money into the market, but without the risk. And so what we were able to do was to devise a plan for them to be able to use this for both as a retirement strategy and as an investment asset to put on their balance sheet. And if for some reason something were to happen to them, their loved ones would be protected, as well as if they needed to pass this down, they could also use this as a tool and a secret of the wealth. So doctors, if this sounds like something that would be helpful to you, and this is something that you're struggling with where you're paying a ton in taxes and you just have money just sitting around that's not working for you, and you like to have it investing, but you don't want something to be too risky, go ahead and click the link below and book a free 15-minute strategy session, and we can see if we can help you. So you see how simple that is, right? And again, that's right off the top of my head, but what I wanted to show you was how simple this is. And so here, that's where you would place that video, right? How to retire and maintain the same lifestyle without paying a ton in taxes when you withdraw from it, right? And that video I just recorded, we would upload that into a software and post that right on the page. So after they clicked to get the free training, this is what they would get. Pretty simple, right? You guys getting this? Are you guys enjoying this? If you guys think this is helpful, go ahead and give me a heart or a like, just to kind of give this video a bump to get some more reach. And so with that process, it's that same $3 that once they opt in, they get to see the video. So that's the same $3. It's not a different $3. It's just $3 to become a lead, and then they get to view the video. And so then the next thing is a survey, right? So we get our prospects to fill out a survey that's really simple so that we can figure out if they're a good fit for working with us or not. And we just don't want to be getting on the phone with any of nobody, right? We want to make sure that the prospects that we're speaking to is worth our time, right? We want to make sure that these people have the potential to become clients. And in this survey, we want to just ask some general questions: business size, revenue, value of their portfolio, what are their biggest financial concerns right now, and how committed they are to fixing these problems and working with us, right? And so when you have people coming to you, you want to compel the people who are your ideal clients and repel the tire kickers, right? And if someone is serious about their business or serious about their family, them filling out this application is something that they're happy and willing to do. Now, the people who are looking for something for free, it's always going to be too much work, or why they're asking you to do so much on the front end. And that's what we want to do, is we want to attract our ideal clients and repel the tire kickers. And when you have some friction or some steps for people to jump through, it really makes a difference to kind of filter out those people, because you don't want to be wasting your time talking to any and everybody. And so here's what that form looks like, right? So again, I'm going to give you the step-by-steps, literally behind the scenes. I'm pulling the veil back to show you everything, right? So we want to get their full name, the email address, their biggest financial concern, the value of their portfolio, and the household income. And so what this does is this will allow you to be more prepared when you go into that appointment. And when you have these things where you already know that they're a physician, you know what their biggest financial concern is, you know their financial situation and how much they're making. It makes it really easy for you to position a solution that they can't resist because we already know the information going in. You have time to plan. And this is what a lot of agents kind of miss, right? Is they're going into appointments blind, not knowing how the outcome is going to be, not knowing who's going to answer the door on the other side. And that doesn't allow you to get a rhythm or consistency or breed confidence because there's too many unknown factors. With this removes all of those things. And so with that process, you know, only 10% of the people who watch that video will convert. And that sounds low, but it's actually a phenomenal number if you can get that video to convert. And that turns out to be right around $30 per application. So for every 100 people, right, who watch that video, which they would click on, that would be $1. So $1 times 100 people who turn into a lead, 30% of those people, right, would convert, right? And then 10% of those people, which is the $30 per lead, okay? Because that would be 3 people. 3 times 30 is $90, or it's really 33, so that's about 99, okay? And so then the next step is the calendar, right? So after they fill out a survey, then we want to give them an option to pick a time that's best for them, right? And so once our prospects have completed the survey, then we want them to schedule a time to speak with us, right? And we can use a custom scheduling software so that our prospects can see our current availability in real time, right? And schedule a time with us right away without any communication. And that's what we want to do, is we want to try to automate as much as we can. And this makes it easy for our prospects to schedule a time with us. And it saves us a ton of time. And a lot of times when they book themselves, they're more likely to keep that appointment because they committed to that on their own. And so this is what the scheduling software kind of looks like, right? It's your calendar. They put the time in there. They schedule it themselves. And when they're scheduling it themselves, guess what happens? You look like a professional because you have a systematic process to take a client through that not just anybody can go through and book a call with you because your time is valuable. And so usually, you know, it's about that same $30 per call, right? So after they fill out a survey, they just go right to the calendar, and there's no cost to that because that's just the next step in the process. And so we're looking at about $30 per call, right? And so on the call, you know, everyday prospects in our chosen niche schedule appointments with us, and then we get on a phone call or a Zoom call, and we talk to them for about 30, 45 minutes to see whether we can help them or not, right? We do a great fact finder. And then we follow a proven process and my secret script to conducting these calls, right? And we end up making a prospect an offer that they can't refuse to work with us and become a client. And about 25% of the people we talk to on the phone become paying clients, and that's 1 in 4. So let's do some math, right? So we spend $1 per click, $3 per lead, $30 per application to hop on a phone call with us at a 25% conversion rate. So 1 out of 4. So 3 times 4 is, right, is 120. And we close one of them. That means that our cost per acquisition is $120. So let's do the math. $1 per click, $3 per lead, $3 per call. Again, it's $120 CPA, which is the cost to acquire a customer, right? Because if you do not know the cost to acquire a client, you do not have a business, right? And most agents don't know their cost to acquire a client because they don't have a predictable and proven process to even measure those things. So if you had a predictable process like this that could get you appointments with physicians and you were closing 1 out of 4, which made your cost per acquisition $120. And we know that physicians usually, at least when I was there, I wasn't recommending anything under $500 a month, right? Imagine what that could do for your business if you could write that much per customer. And when you execute this correctly, the end result is 5 to 10 new clients, reaching out to you every single month asking for your help. And then you can just pick and choose the best ones that you want to work with, and just imagine yourself every day, new clients reaching out to you, and you're growing your life insurance business and finally becoming time and financially free, right? And so that brings me to my last point. If you enjoyed this video, tomorrow at 6 p.m., I am doing a masterclass on my reapproving system to hit MDRT and Hall of Fame without dial day. Now, we've already got a ton of agents on this, and we're capping this at 100 agents tomorrow, and we're pretty close. I have to check the numbers, but if you want to reserve a seat, you might want to go ahead and do that right now, because this is a live webinar and it won't be available for long, and I really don't want you guys to miss out. And if you thought this was helpful on this masterclass, I'm going to be going into further detail, step by step into this process, and I'm going to be diving really deep and even showing you some proof and some results of some of my clients that are going to be in there. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and click the link below. And there'll be a link in the description at the end of this video. So wherever you're watching this, if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, you can always check in the description and get the link. And so at this point, I'm going to open this up for questions. So if anybody has any questions, I'm going to be going ahead and sticking around for a little bit to see if anybody has any questions. Let's see here. All right, so Angelica says, very good information. Thank you, I appreciate that. But again, go ahead and register for this live free training I'll be doing tomorrow for agents. Looks like we don't have any other questions, but again, I hope this was helpful. This concludes this live stream. This is Arturo Johnson, and you guys take care.